Welcome to the Armwood Opinion Channel. On the day after, the 19th of December 2019, the day after Donald Trump was impeached by the House of Representatives as specified in Article 2 of the U.S. Constitution. It was a long day with lots of argumentation, very cantankerous at times, and we've been in the middle of a process in which the senators who will sit at the trial, led by their majority leader, Mitch McConnell, who unfortunately, due to his behavior, has gotten the nickname Moscow Mitch, has said before the trial started that he was not going to look at the evidence, that he'd already made his decision, and there was no way that he would find Donald Trump as having violated the Constitution according to the two articles of impeachment. The first being abuse of power, and the second being obstruction of Congress. So he's not going to honor his oath that he has to take. It's a separate oath from his oath to become a senator, which requires him to honestly evaluate the evidence during the impeachment. He and Lindsey Graham, Senator of South Carolina, among others, have openly said that they are not going to evaluate the evidence. They're going to go by what they see as part of their political interests to keep their power, and they're going to support Donald Trump no matter what. In fact, the Senate is refusing to even discuss rules with Minority Leader Chuck Schumer as to how the trial will be conducted and what witnesses will be called. The Democrats, led by Schumer in the Senate, have submitted to Mitch McConnell a witness list, but the Republicans, led by Mitch McConnell, are not going to consider it. This is a violation of their oath under the Constitution. So, we know ahead of time what the result will be. The Republicans will not remove Donald Trump from office. The question becomes, what do we, the American people who care about justice, and there are a lot of Americans, understand, that do not care. They support Trump because they feel he's made them money through his tax cuts. They are anti-immigrant. They are racist and don't like Hispanics and blacks. There are a number of reasons why many of these people support Trump. Some of them are evangelicals. They like him because of his change of position, becoming anti-abortion rights when he ran for president. This is the big issue for evangelicals. These other issues don't matter. And so all of these people have decided they don't care what the abuses of power have been. They don't care about the obstruction. They want to keep Trump as president because they see a benefit for themselves. They don't care that foreigners in another country have been asked to interfere in our election, that in fact all of the U.S. intelligence agencies have said that Russia interfered in the last election and intends to do it again. This is bipartisan among the intelligence community. Trump's own appointees have said this. Just like his own appointees have said that he invited the Ukraine to interfere in the 2020 election by starting an investigation of Biden. There's no question about the facts. In fact, in yesterday's argumentation before the impeachment vote, none of the Republicans denied the facts. They just, because they couldn't. The evidence is overwhelming. But the real question is, what do we do? And Nancy Pelosi had a good message today. She is the House of Representatives Majority Leader. And I've been very critical. I was very critical of her delay and her holding back on impeachment from the spring. And I think it was a major mistake that she made. But she was on it today. She spoke about that the founders, the people who wrote the Constitution, did not envision a corrupt president and a corrupt majority leader in the Senate at the same time. Listen to her.
Last night you suggested you need to see a fair process in the Senate.
Well, we'd like to see a fair process, but we'll see what they have, and we'll be ready for whatever it is. Yes, Chad?
Is that the requirement? You need to see a fair process before...
We would hope there would be a fair process, just as we hope that they would honor the Constitution. By the way, I didn't see it, but I heard some of what Mitch McConnell said today, and it reminded me that our founders, when they wrote the Constitution, they suspected that there could be a rogue president. I don't think they suspected that we could have a rogue president and a rogue leader in the Senate at the same time. Yes?
Again, what do? We have to keep to a simple message that Americans of goodwill can hear and understand. We have a corrupt gangster president who has led a criminal conspiracy to keep his position in the White House by inviting foreign powers to interfere in the American election. Let me repeat it. We have a gangster conspiracy led by Donald Trump in the White House to get foreign powers to interfere in our election. That is a violation of American law, campaign finance law, among others. It's bordering on treason. So that's what we're facing right now. So we have to mobilize now and get on that one message. There's a gangster conspiracy to co-opt and steal the 2020 election. And we have to repeat it, show the evidence, get TV commercials out showing this, support and donate to organizations that are getting this message out. We have to, of course, get a Democratic candidate, choose a candidate, hopefully one that's strong enough to beat Trump. There are a number of people running. There are a number of excellent candidates in the race. You may favor one, I may favor another. It doesn't matter. And when it comes down, whoever wins the primary contest and is the Democratic nominee, we have to get behind. We can't sit out just because our favorite didn't win like a number of people did in 2016. That was a major mistake that a lot of Democrats made, being self-righteous. Bernie Sanders didn't become the Democratic nominee, so I'm not going to vote for Hillary Clinton. This happened. I voted for Bernie Sanders in the Democratic primary. I have friends that criticize me for it. But I sure voted for Hillary Clinton in the general election because I've known about Donald Trump and his corrupt activity since 1973 when I was in college and he was accused of discriminating against blacks and Puerto Ricans in housing by Richard Nixon's Justice Department. And understand that the crime President Trump has committed during his tenure in the White House are worse than those committed by Richard Nixon by a long shot. They are worse than those committed by Andrew Johnson after the Civil War. And clearly they are worse than Clinton lying under oath, committing perjury in his testimony about an affair he had while he was in the White House. This is a case for the removal of Trump from office. If we can't do it through the Senate, as the Constitution provides for, we have to do it in the 2020 election. And we have to punish senators like Moscow Mitch McConnell in Kentucky, who's in a very tough race there. We need financing. We need money to pour into that race. We need to knock off Republicans as a way of showing them that we, the American people, are not going to tolerate this kind of criminal behavior. So pour your money, pour your support, pour your energy. Go get out there and campaign, phone call, whatever is necessary to defeat Republicans in races coming up. We must punish them for their support of this criminal conspiracy. Talk to your friends, talk to your relatives, get them on board. This is our country. If you love your country, you don't want someone who is supported by Putin in Russia as our president. In fact, Putin, as you can see, made a comment criticizing the impeachment of Donald Trump. We have a Manchurian president along with Moscow Mitch McConnell in charge of the Senate. We have to end this at the latest by 2020. We can still hope that the Senate, through pressure, will come to realize the error of its ways now and remove him from office. But we know that's highly unlikely. So we must mobilize and use this impeachment. Some people ask, was this impeachment futile? I say no, it was not. This is for history. History will show that the American people, through their House of Representatives, refused to accept this kind of criminal behavior by the president. It will also show that the Republican Party at this time was corrupt and supportive of this kind of criminal behavior. This may mark the beginning of the end of the Republican Party. And many people will be able to trace that back to 1968 with Richard Nixon's election and then with Lee Atwater's Southern strategy. We're at the culmination of that period from 1968 to 2020. Takes time sometimes. So make sure you get out and vote. Make sure you get out and organized. If you hear anybody saying, I'm going to stay home and not going to vote, give them an earful of the reasons why. People died so that we can vote. Remember, resistance is not futile. Yesterday proved that. Yesterday proved that. We will resist. And I have a little board cube that just fell. It fell apart. And that is what we want to do to the Trump administration. We want to let it just fall. All right. Remember to hit the like button if you like this. Subscribe to this channel. I post a video like this every week. I doubt that I'll post one before the new year. So have a happy holidays, whether you celebrate Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, or you don't celebrate anything. Once again, resistance is not futile.